Thomas, and today we are just going to be doing a video that is going to teach you how to do two things that are important to know how to do when you are baking. The first is going to be chopping up chocolate, and the second is going to be separating eggs. And I know I've done clips of these in some of my videos in the past, but this is just one video that you can watch now, and then I won't have to keep repeating myself in all of the other videos. And I'll leave a link to this video in all the videos where you have to do one of these two things. I decided to film this video because in my video last week that I uploaded today, which was tiny salty chocolatey cookies, I said that there was a video that you should watch to learn how to separate eggs, but then I realized I never made that video. And this video isn't going to be coming out until February, but I'm filming it now and hopefully it will be helpful for you. So we're going to start with how to chop your bittersweet chocolate. So you can not only use bittersweet chocolate, you can also use semi-sweet chocolate or a different type of bittersweet chocolate. I'm going to be using 60% bittersweet chocolate. So first you just want to rip off the little case thing, and there are easier ways to do this, but the easiest is just to separate it like that. And then you can just rip off this little piece of foil. And I'm going to be chopping up 5 ounces for this demonstration because I'm chopping this chocolate for the video I'm filming tomorrow, which is my newer edition of the World Peace Cookie. So if you need less than a bit of it, you can either chop it along the ridge line to get how much you need, or you can just peel back a bit, then chop, or sometimes it breaks away like that. And then this is better because you can just fold it up and then it stays fresher longer. So 1 bar of this is about 4 ounces, which means that 2 little squares is 1 ounce and 1 square is ½ an ounce. So when you're chopping this, you want to get a pretty big cutting board, and this size is bigger than I usually use. Usually I use a slightly smaller size, but this is just easier when you have a bigger one. It's just harder to clean. And there are 2 knives that I like to use while I'm doing this. The first is just a big chef's knife, and this is the one I usually use because it's very stable and easy to cut. However, I've recently learned that using a serrated bread knife also works. It's a little bit less sturdy and it's less flimsy, but it cuts through it nicely. So I'm going to be using the chef's knife today because that's what I usually use and recommend that you use, but you can use either. So I like to just chop it into chunks usually, but sometimes slivers if it's going to be melted. And you want to go diagonally, and you want to line all your chocolate up while you do this. And then once you're done going through that way, you're just going to reverse your direction and cut it like this. Not all of these chips are going to be the same size, which is why I like chopping bittersweet bars, because it's different sizes and it's usually better chocolate. But if there are any pieces that you think are too big, you can just cut those a bit more and then they will get smaller. Next, we're going to move on to directions on how to separate an egg. When separating an egg, you can either get rid of the other part of the egg that you're not using, or you can just save it for later because you might need to make something right now that uses an egg yolk, and you might need to make something in a couple days that uses an egg white. So I'm going to teach you how to do it both ways. So first you're just going to crack the egg, and then you're going to open it over your bowl or the sink, depending on what you're doing. And I've just dumped the whole thing out, and this is one way you can do it. And then you can reach your fingers up and grab the yolk out of there, and then just put it between your fingers multiple times until you just have yolk and no white. And then you can either put the yolk in your thing and save the white, or you can put your white in the thing you're making and save the yolk in here. Another way to do it is if you keep your entire thing in your shell when you crack it, then you can just let the white drain from the shell, and then you can go between the 2 shells. This way gets your hands less messy, but it also means that you're more likely to break your yolk, which you don't want to do. For some people, most of this video will have been a bit too complicated and they don't need all those instructions. So I'm going to now give you simplified instructions for each of these two things. For chocolate, you just take chocolate out of the thing, you place it on the board, and you cut diagonally this way, and then you reverse your direction and cut that way, and then you have chunks. That's the best way to do it because it lets you have different size chunks that have little different angle lines. For an egg, you crack the egg and you put it between your fingers until the white and the yolk separate. And then that's pretty much it for this video. And I know this video is a little bit shorter, but it's also not an entire video about how to bake something. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.